Welcome to Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. We're in the Inland Empire today, and we are joined by the Mayor of Ontario. His name is Paul Leon, and I just have to say congratulations. I know how hard Ontario has worked to regain local control of your airport. You did it.
Well, I tell you, it was a Herculean task, but there were a lot of people who were involved in making that come true. The political people from the top to the bottom, the bottom being us at the base of the work, but also the community. It was a Set Ontario Free campaign that went from here to Washington,
What
DC.
I loved about the turnover, I think the mayor of Los Angeles was there, Eric Garcetti, Senator Dianne Feinstein was there. It was a big deal. It was a big celebration, and I know Supervisor Kurt Hagman, a good friend of yours, was there. But what's inspiring about it is that all of you are really working mightily to make it count. You know, it's nice that you got it, but, Mr. Hagman's in China trying to get airlines to come over. I'm sure you're looking to lure business because there's a lot of empty land. I mean, one could argue it was an underutilized asset.
700 acres of unutilized property.
Right.
And also the office buildings and the hangars that have just gone fallow.
Right. Well stated. An agricultural term, but we're in the Inland Empire.
Yeah, right. And I have to say, all of the accolades to Eric Garcetti, Mayor Garcetti, who's
the mayor of LA.
He's a wonderful guy.
Good man.
You rarely find a guy who has reached his stature of politics to be still grounded and such salt of the earth. I mean, he is really
young.
Yeah, he has the experience of his father's
former DA.
Yeah, but Eric is just a wonderful person.
And in some ways, think about it. I mean, they gave up an asset. They didn't have to do that.
Well, okay.
Or did they?
You don't have to until the pressure gets so great.
What I'm saying. But it was a.
I don't know how long you can resist when you're getting pressured by every side.
But let's tie this back. Because Ontario now has this asset, what is it going to do to try to build jobs off of it? Because look, Ontario continues to be, it's a hot city. People want to live in and around Ontario, but it can get a little expensive to live in and around Ontario. And so I wonder, what is Ontario doing to kind of leverage the asset for jobs to allow people to live close by?
That's a great segue to something I wanted to talk to you about, because affordable housing comes into the question a lot in our region. For many years, people were moving out here from Los Angeles, and then of course there's still the commuting back and forth, which causes such massive congestion on our freeways.
And I think it's important that we make some distinctions. Affordable housing can be a term of art, which means housing that somehow is subsidized by the government or the developer. It seems as if you're talking about housing that is affordable. And so both of those kind of work in tandem, but it used to be that Ontario and the Inland Empire provided housing that was affordable.
But you had to work elsewhere.
But you had to work elsewhere. But now it's even hard to move to the IE. I mean, Ontario, Fontana, Rancho Cucamonga, Rialto. I mean, these areas are now, as hot as all get out.
Well, we're living in a good time again of economics.
Right. No,
the economy's doing good, and so there are a lot of jobs that are coming to the Inland Empire because of the construction and other things that support all of that. But when we talk about affordable housing, I don't want to talk necessarily about creating government subsidized housing or projects and those kinds of things. I want to talk about affordable housing, but it's multifaceted. When you have affordable housing, that's a house that someone can afford given the income that they're earning.
It's workforce housing.
So they can afford to buy this house. Well, in order for that to happen, the job has to be existent. You have to have the job. So what we do in Ontario is we attract businesses and we attract the job market. We supported QVC coming here, creating hundreds of jobs, and there are all of these different businesses coming to the city. But we also support the education system. We have the Promise Scholars Program,
Right.
where we absolutely support and we provide 2 years of college for every student in the city of Ontario that desires higher education.
Is that to go to Chaffey or?
To any college of their choice or tech school.
Wow.
And what we are asking them is to come bring that education back, bring that intellectual capital, if you will, back to the city of Ontario, so that we have the educated workforce that will attract the businesses that pay the salaries that make the housing here affordable.
And you've linked it perfectly. But I guess what my question is how much can government help that process along? Because, look, the more jobs that come here, the more attractive it becomes, and all of a sudden that impacts real estate prices and they start going up, and so you're in this vicious cycle.
Well, I don't know if you can avoid the vicious cycle, but what you can promote is education.
Right.
Because that's where it really starts. You're never going to have a minimum wage that meets the requirements on one person, maybe even two, to afford their own home.
So let me
I just don't think that's the way it
let me
works.
ask you then, Ontario is incredibly close to some of the finest higher education institutions in the region. The Claremont Colleges, UC Riverside, La Sierra, Cal State San Bernardino. I mean, you're right there, Cal Poly Pomona. So how can you leverage those educational institutions to the benefit of Ontario, which is kind of like right in the middle of all of them?
You partner with them. Actually, myself and my friends like Alex Espinosa and others in the community, we promote the Esperanza Scholarship Foundation, the Dollars for Scholars. We are sponsoring 64 students to go to college this year alone. Every year we do that, and we follow them through college. I believe that education is really the groundwork
Of course.
of creating affordability. I'm going to say it again. If you cannot make the money that it takes to pay for the lowest cost house in your community, there is no real affordable housing unless it's subsidized by the government. And that doesn't usually work out that well. I don't believe in handouts. I believe in hand up, and that's the way that I have seen it. That's the way I received it growing up, and I think that it's the best way for people to have true ownership in anything is if they earn it.
So can you work with Ontario Airport, with QVC, with some of the bigger businesses in your community to build those educational opportunities?
Yeah, well, I started to say that with the Esperanza Scholarship Foundation, we work with the different colleges in the community so that every $1,000 that we give to a student, they match or more. So whether it's the University of Riverside, San Bernardino, University of La Verne, Chaffey College, those are all team members right now who are not only giving us money to give out as scholarships, but also they're matching that if those scholars decide to go to their college.
It's got to be an incredibly exciting time to live in Ontario, to be the mayor of Ontario, because it's undeniable Ontario continues to be on the move, and I just can't wait to see what happens in the next few years. It's really terrific. His name is Paul Leon. He is the mayor of the city of Ontario, which recently took over local control of Ontario Airport. I'm sure more international flights will be coming in and out of that great hub. My name is Brad Pomerance. We're coming to you from the Inland Empire, and you're watching us on Local Edition.